Welcome everyone. We are on week 6 of Build with Ben. And today I'm excited because we get to dive into something that I've teased this, I think, a little bit on the Obsidian office hours last week, but today we're going to do another deep dive into building with Vue 3, Vite, and Obsidian plugins, because I think there's a really interesting ecosystem to be had here. And it's all good thesis. That was my fault. I totally messed up the schedule because I was traveling to mountain time. So I was like 2 hours before. I lost track of time. So we just did an ad hoc one for about an hour last week. But I'll make sure to throw the recording up on YouTube. I think it's still currently on Twitch. I think for now, my plan is to leave them on Twitch for a week and then have them published on YouTube with a little bit more edited out. So try to cut out some of the weird pauses and stuff, but otherwise that's the plan for content production wise. But otherwise, yes, let's talk about today's about code. And for those who might be joining for the first, so we're talking about Obsidian here, which is basically a markdown editor that contains ability to network the different notes and create network graphs. So just like this right here can create relationships between things. We can go ahead and increase depth and that kind of stuff. And this is cool because this means that basically really cool note-taking ideas, but at the same time, while writing Markdown is great from being able to tweak things on your end, a lot of times I think a UI is really useful for how we flow in a different way. Basically, when we're thinking in different mindsets, it's super helpful to have. So today we're going to be working on the Vue plugin, and I want to show you what that's all about. I've been really excited to show this piece off. So it looks like, okay, everything's looking good on that end, and I think I called it Obsidian Vue Plugin. Here we go. And in here, let's see, let me update this config actually. Config update package.json metadata. Okay, great. All right. So let's explore code-wide what's going on here. This right here is what I'm working on as basically a boilerplate, and I'll open source it, or technically open source, so you can already clone it. But before I officially make it a template for people to access, I really think it would be helpful to create some boilerplate APIs, because one of the things I've learned going through the Obsidian API is that it can be hard to figure out where everything is and how it works. And I'd love to be able to give people a clear architecture for how they can basically ingest it, and they can focus on building the apps they want to build and the integrations they want, rather than spending time sorting through APIs and stuff. That's really the plan here. And so what you see here is basically now, instead of using the rollup config, which some of you may have watched me wrestle with before, thanks to the help of some of the Vite core team members, Patak and Anthony, we are now using Vite here, Vite config, which would go ahead and let me blow this, come out of that a little bit. It'll actually be responsible for basically outputting the appropriate files. And so the interesting thing about the Obsidian plugins, it actually boils down to two different files. It boils down to a main.js file, which will contain basically all the modifications and extensions into the Obsidian plugin ecosystem. And finally, there's a style.css, because sometimes you want custom styles to the things you're trying to do. And when I was developing the actual workflow, basically I was thinking while this is great, a lot of us think, especially when it comes to UI and component architecture these days, this is super common. So why don't we make it easier for people to do? And so what you'll see here is that when I go ahead and following package.json, I'm going to use the yarn dev right here. So there's a slight bug with this one at the moment, but you'll see that inside of our Vue component, we are managing everything from state inside of our script block to the code, the HTML that will be displayed on the page, as well as the actual CSS. And so here, if we change here the background color to red, the nice thing about this is it will actually, when I run yarn build, it'll go ahead and compile all the Vue stuff into the appropriate main.js and styles.css. And what you notice here is it actually compiles them into the global file, which is awesome, because now maintain them the way we want as developers, but at the same time, we get the clean output of what we were sending over to Obsidian. And so to show you this works right now, this is probably gonna be super ugly, but we'll go ahead and go in Obsidian. I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna go ahead and turn, Vue plugin. Oh, it says it's turned on. Since when? Okay, I know why it's turned on. Okay, so now it's turned on. And then if I go to inspect the element and look for the counter that I built, just to make sure it exists, you'll see that it actually exists down here, which makes sense, because right now it's just mounting a random div, and that's not what we want, and that's what we're going to work on today. We're going to work on how to get our app to actually appear in a useful way so people can actually start building on it. Yeah, so Thesis is saying here, Vite template is already an awesome start. I'm glad you think. I've been talking. Ooh, you know what? I noticed my mic levels are a little high. I'm going to lower it a little bit. Let me know if it's too low, but hopefully this prevents random spikes in the audio. Yeah, so that's exactly the thing is Vite, with this Vite template, I don't see any reason why someone couldn't extend on it to then use like React or whatnot and extend before. Oh, it was good before. Oh, okay. This isn't bad though. So is this one of those like I.1 or 2? Is 2 better? 1? Let me know what people think in the meantime. Okay, so we want to mount this thing onto the actual app. So my inspiration at this point is the Obsidian Kanban repo. So let's go ahead and take a look at how this is doing. So we had learned before, just to recap, that in main.ts, if I could find it, main.ts, they are mounting this element onto the body div, which, okay, fine. The question is, how do they actually get the thing onto the page? That's what we're here to find out today. And so we hear that create app render. So this here is an alias from, all right, here we go. It's going to create app with this view, and then it's going to append this thing. All right, let's jump in. So it's passing in. So this is the element. Okay, so the create app function creates an element called drag and drop app, which receives an app and a data. Okay, let's start slow. What is this app type? Okay, so app is from Obsidian. Okay, so that's good. So app and notice is from Obsidian. So what if we start with that? Let's mimic this. So if that's the case, that it's a functional component that creates the thing, then I would like to think then switching back over into, all right, let's switch over into the Obsidian Vue plugin. And I think I have Peacock installed. Do I have Peacock installed? I do. Okay, I'll change it to Peacock Ring. This way it's easier for us to see the difference. All right, so the question here is in main.ts, we see that there's clearly a, let's see. So I followed it to do the mount. On mount create app counter. Okay, so the thing is that, and it's mounting it to this. I need to actually pass create app something. Oh, I need to pass it props. So that's what it looks like I need to do at the moment. Okay, just want to make sure. All right. It's initializing it already with the thing. But why couldn't I create counter from counter.view? Let's think. I guess that's why he was running a function that returned that. Because then that returns the actual component which is in the JSX. The only problem is that we need to pass props at the top level. For example, we would need props, again, let's call it app, and then this will be a type. I'm assuming it's an object. Require true. And the question is, how do I want to pass that? I wonder. All right, so now we're gonna look into some Vue 3 stuff. Because how am I going to pass the state into the app? That's the real question, because I can't just return it directly like that. So it almost as if, how do I want to share the state? That is an interesting pattern from this side, in that create app will return this, and it'll do a view thing with view.element. Create app data bridge string Kanban view. Return drag drop app. So let's take a look real quick at the API. I think that's the first thing we're going to need to do at this point. Bump this back a little bit so it's not so big. But really the API we need to look at this point, so we need to understand this create app API. So let's look it up. Create app global API. Okay, so we can create an app that contains an object of these various things. Great. Props. Yep. Typing, create app function, root props. Okay. It's still not telling me exactly what I need though. We can pass root. Oh, wait. With the second parameter. Oh, ha. Yes. Excellent. There is a second parameter. Okay. Meaning, excellent. Most excellent. Is it like an initial state? Yeah, Jacob. So I think that's what we need to do here. We need to pass an initial state. So to show that this works before I actually break anything, let's do the canonical message type string. And if this works, inside of our counter, we should see a message of message. And if my instinct is correct, we can then say message is hello Twitch. And then, oh, I am not building anything yet. All right, yarn dev, build watch, waiting for changes. Great, it's built, it's watching now. So now if we go here and it's gonna mount, I'm just gonna delete this one. Hello, look at that. Excellent. Oh, most excellent. All right, I had a feeling. All right, so we do get the ability to pass in a root app. Oh man, this is great. So let's take a look. We're gonna say the app will take, that's what it'll take. Yep, reflecting the app up top. So now inside of our counter, we will now be able to say inside of the props, we get an app, which is of type object. We will make this required. And all I wanna do really, to be honest, is let's start by printing it out. It's probably going to be ginormous. I'm fully anticipating that. But in the meantime, what I also want to do when the component is mounted, to go ahead and just log app. So that way we can actually see everything. So everything should have rebuilt. Main.js got rebuilt. Perfect. And now inside of Obsidian, we can see that we now have this app. Oh, that's the other thing I didn't. Gosh, I apologize. Someone gave Attack totally gets credit for this. Hot reload. So this is a little plugin. It's super. It's like 1.8, so not technically like a V1, but apparently it just automatically reloads the plugins whenever their files are changed. So it's basically doing a watch on main.js, which is great. Which means I don't have to constantly oh shoot, I deleted the wrong one. Let me save again. Let me just add a change here. Test. You'll see that automatically reloads and it appends it, which is great. Okay, app.count, app test. Interesting. App is not being printed. Oh, why is that? App is E. Okay, here we go. App E. I guess it was too large to print. Weird. Okay, cool. So what we get here is the entire app itself. We get access to workspaces, active leaf. Okay, I'm starting to, is mobile. We have detections for this. Metadata cache, next frame. Okay, this is exciting. Plugins, can I tell what other plugins exist? Oh man, because I've always been thinking about ways to better integrate, take on what other people have done in plugin work, and then be like, if you're using this in combination with this, you can like make them sequential. Hey, what's up, Okra? Okay, great. I now have an app. Excellent. App is now inside of the context. Now, this said, I've been thinking about this a bit on how to restructure this directory, and I feel like the best thing for us to do really is to, let's go ahead and do this small bit of refactoring right now. So actually, no, wait. One thing at a time. Micro commits. So we've done a couple of things. We've proven out that we can take in the app here. So there we go. Oh, wait, I didn't save it? Wait, how did I? All right, whatever. I think it worked. Oh, wait, it did log the app. I'm not gonna worry too much about it. That's good. Oh, it's letting me save the settings? Oh, Obsidian Vue Plugin? Yeah, that's fine. So here we go. So the commit here is add app to Obsidian app into Vue app scope, which is great. And let's see, this is a config. Add peacock color to workspace. And finally, everything else can be, I think, checked out. I think. Oh, no, that was totally wrong. Whoops. All right, git never mind, git never mind. Bum, bum, bum. This is what I did in order to add Obsidian into the app scope. Now I can commit this piece, which is to add peacock to the workspace, and now we're good. Excellent. What we're going to do now is let's restructure this folder a little bit because I think it's a little too flat for my liking. We have a source file, which would make sense, and then we want to make sure our components live in here. And then we want, I would assume we want main.ts, honestly, to be at the root of source, which would make sense. And then main.js and styles.css should come out from here. Versions, Vite, I think everything else should be good. I think this is the better route. So again, I think this is going to break right now because we need to make sure that our versioning on the Vite is resolving the right thing. So entry path.resolve directory name main.ts. Will this still work? We're about to find out. Okay, it looks like it still is okay. So just to make sure things actually change, I'm gonna also add a border of 2px solid. Let's see, bat A55, and now let's see if this works. If we run yarn build, could not resolve entry module main.ts. That makes sense because it's no longer at the root. So if that's the case, then I'm going to assume it's going to be something like this. And now that we have this, let's try again. That worked. So main.js got built. Excellent. Styles.css also got built. Okay, looking much better. Now to do this one step further, I'm actually going to create an app.vue file because this should be the entry point. This is what I'm thinking here. This is really like the root app. And then everything can come into this. So this is actually what we want to receive as the main. So honestly, what I should consider doing, because I think I'm already set up for Vue and TS, is to start using the types, but I tend to, I don't know, I tend to veer away from types at the moment. And maybe one day I'll like slightly layered it on, but sometimes I feel like it can get in the way of people contributing. That said, I know that people will say otherwise as far as I do understand that the types can really help structure things. I just feel I think I'm going through my own personal exploration with at what level should types exist and at what point is it like destructive to the learning process. Because autocomplete is great, but I think what a lot of people don't forget about autocomplete is that you have a lot of muscle memory and like you've learned a lot over the years that have allowed you to leverage that. For example, for those of us who use Emmet, like it's really great to be able to just div ID like this. It's great to be able to do that, but there's something valuable about sometimes just hard coding it and then spending the time to learn what are the mistakes, where things are. Because when everything's done perfectly for you, I think there is a learning opportunity to be said about. I talked about this with like over the weekend about like friction and the importance of friction in learning. And it's not to say that the DX of having autocomplete is a not inherently bad thing, but like all things, I think, come in the right doses. So that's a mini rant. But okay, so here we have the app. And the reason I'm saying I want to do that is because if this works correctly now, we no longer want to import counter. This was really just a test to make sure this was a viable idea. And so it should be source app view. And then we're bringing in the app here. Gosh, a lot of apps. I'm not loving this. This is a bad idea. Yes, I knew it. It's going to be a conflict. Of course, it's going to be a conflict. I forgot the syntax, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, from rename. I believe it's as. I think you can say as. Default from. Yeah, I think it's as. Okay, great. So I want to do app as view app. This should be okay. Duplicate identifier import. This should be fine. If it's not, I'm gonna be mad. Let's see. View app here. Cannot find name view app. Nope, doesn't like it. You don't have to use TypeScript to have autocomplete. JS.doc totally works. Exactly. Thank you, Thesis, for that reminder. In the meantime, I did something wrong. Can I not rename the default export? Fine. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Okay. This is the last thing I want to fight with right now. So we'll just call this Vue app. We're just gonna call it Vue app, and let's rename it. Breaks convention a little bit, but Vue app.vue. That's kind of, what is that? The palindrome. It flips either way. Vue app.vue. Okay, silly jokes. Moving on. All right, so if things work accordingly, we should now, oh no, not good. Source.main.ts. Oh, right, because main.ts is here, so it should be like this. Oh, is that why it was breaking? Hang on, I want to try this real quick though. App, Vue app as app. Oh, I think that does work. Hang on, then I think I was right. So it's app.vue. I think it just couldn't find the file because I had the wrong path. So if I import the app as Vue app, for example, would that still not like it? All right, fine, I tried. I'm not gonna worry about it. All right, Vue app from Vue app. You import app from Obsidian. Yeah, I was hoping that thesis I could do like a module renaming, but again, not worth it at this point. Okay, everything's good. Can I find module? What are you talking about? Oh, corresponding type declarations. I can ignore that. That's like something we can figure out later. So we are mounting app, Vue app. Great. So if this works correctly, as I hope, everything builds. Inside of here now, we should see inside of our element that if I delete this one, great, delete this one. Oh, great. Okay, excellent. We have our root app here. Okay, success. So let's go ahead and commit this refactor. So this is a refactor, reorganize plugin into more familiar architecture. All right. Oh, I'm very happy with this. This is great. So now we have a Vue app. Now the Vue app can import different components. We can deal with that accordingly. Oh, you're right. Oh, I like that. Okay, hold up. I do that better. Thesis with a clutch suggestion here. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna I'm gonna call this Obsidian app. And then Obsidian app here, Obsidian app. Now I can do this. Most excellent. Yarn build. Everything still works. Clutch suggestion. Thank you. So this is a quick refactor. Use regular app.vue file name. Excellent. Hey, what's up, Ryzen? All right, so we are making excellent project. Can you do yarn build watch? Yes. So I actually have a yarn dev here. So this will be a Vite build watch. So the reason why, for those who eventually might watch this or try this out, is that Vite right now, because Vite normally does like a server. So for those who have used Vite, it normally does its own hot module server reload. At the moment, as far as I'm aware, Obsidian can't necessarily talk to Vite in that way. So all Vite can really do is build things for us on basically once things change. And luckily with the hot module reload on the Obsidian side, it's not as big of a deal. So if anyone wondering why the dev technically has a build, it's for that reason. And right now, I think before they do the next, or they might have released it, there technically is a bug with the build watch in that it won't regenerate the style CSS during the watch mode. That's a bug. I think I know they've identified it, and they're basically, I think there's a fix on the way. Yeah, so that is now working. I just canceled it to do some transformations, but that said. All right, we have app.vue. We have the app context now. Now the question is, let's jump over. All right, we're going to close everything because we're going to start with a blank slate. And now let's figure out the next thing. Once drag and drop app is mounted to the page, the question I have is, how does it know to do things? So I guess the most obvious one, I'm thinking as far as what I want to learn to do, I want to learn how to identify that, so just for some context, let's show this. If we look at Kanban boards, right? Let me switch over into Open as Markdown. All right. So inside of the Markdown, you'll notice we have this front end matter here called Kanban Plugin Basic. And this inherently is what allows us to create this new option called Open as Kanban board. And when you do, this is how you get the full UI. So my question here is, oh, yes. So, right. So what I'm doing right now actually is I'm trying to learn how to basically do exactly what was done in the Obsidian Kanban plugin, because that's currently built in React. And while I do think there's, again, this is a really great plugin, it does a lot for us. I want to be able to make it easier for people to create things like this. And so coming from the Vue ecosystem, I basically want to build a Vue plugin template that allows people to easily navigate Obsidian's APIs and do things like this without without basically like stumbling over themselves. So I'm trying to learn like some of the core functionality, and then, but as far as what I'd like to eventually do, at least at the bare minimum, imagine task management with the UI, but you can still get all your Obsidian stuff. I think the task management, is the thing that is a pain for everyone. And I'd like to do something very interesting with that. That said, okay, so the first thing first we need to figure out is what is this open? Oh, they even have an open board settings? Yeah, look at this. Holy smokes. All right, one thing at a time. We're going to figure out this Open as Kanban board. That is a thing. So Open as Kanban board. That clearly kicks off like a very custom UI. All right, here, main.ts. So your menu here can add an item and then set the title to this, set the icon to this, on click, and then add a separator. Okay, so that's fine, but this dot around markdown prototype on more options menu. Okay, add a menu to go back to Kanban view. Okay, so when you go to Kanban view, what does that do? Self.kanban file modes this.leaf.id file path Kanban view type self this.leaf. Oof, a lot of calls. Okay. All right, let's dive into this one. What is Kanban file modes? So the plugin extends plugin. Oh, okay. Modes reflects. Okay, so modes is a configuration option inside of Kanban. Right? I think. Is there no filter? Oh, there's no filter. Every time I see this, I want to filter. Date and time. Can I search on this page? Nope. Link page metadata. Oh, see, look at this. Add metadata. There's so much potential here. I think there can be a better DX with this. Or UX with this. I definitely do. Little interesting. Okay, so it's not obvious here, but it is basically an option here, Kanban file modes. And Kanban file modes, I would assume, takes on two different. Where else is it used? It's also used here. If this is this, then do markdown, set markdown view, set Kanban view. Okay, here we go. What is this set Kanban view? Set Kanban view is an async view that takes the leaf from the workspace leaf, awaits the leaf set view state. Navigate this. Set view state is an inherent value. Okay, so it takes an option with the type of view, and then it puts the state as view state. Is view state a type? What is view state? Work. See, by the way, this is what I'm talking about. It's such a... It feels like I'm doing such mental hurdles to do the things I want to do. So we figured out something regarding workspace leaves and how to get the workspace leaf to pass into it. But how about this? What if we start... Okay, maybe I started the wrong place. Maybe what we need to start with is, how does it know... No, I don't think this Kanban plugin basic. That's a front matter recognition. I wanted to mount something to the page. Okay, how can I simplify this? Because it's doing things to detect things in the mark. Because again, what I like the Vue plugin to be able to do is easily read the file contents of the markdown. But okay, get active leaf. Wait, that was a thing, right? So let's try this again. We go to main.ts. It sets it. It goes on the file Kanban self set this dot leaf, and this is on main.ts. Okay, but when you're in the Kanban itself, this is what I don't understand. So maybe that's what I should do. Let's go back. When we go into Kanban view, right? This is what's being mounted, I believe. No, this is, where's the create app? Like create? No, it's in drag and drop. Drag and drop is the main thing. Drag and drop app is added. So this is the function appdb. Great. It gets the DBU state, views map, portals length, drag and drop context. I'm familiar with context now. These are just contexts. That's fine. But this doesn't tell views map, ID view, view. Yeah, this is incredibly tricky. db.uState. Hold on. Is DataBridge a thing? DataBridge is... Okay, DataBridge is a React thing. Okay, great. Update state, set state. Oh, man, I cannot wait to simplify this. On external set, on internal set. Set data from Obsidian land when data has been set in React land. Set data from React land. Oh dear. Get data, this dot data. So this is a whole thing to two-way link version of he's just saying this is some really again I think authors are trying their best. So I try to remind myself. I will say this feels complicated to me as a Vue developer, but again I think until I'm able to call it rewrite it and either prove out a different way, I do appreciate that. I don't who's the plugin author. The plugin author took the time to even figure out this level, because it certainly at least gave me the sense that it's possible, and hence why it's really important to me to design an API that makes sense for people, right? Like you really would want a method that's like this dot active view. That's it. You don't want to have to worry about like how all this works. Gosh. Because here's the thing, right? Drag and drop. What's interesting here? Okay, drag and drop context. Let's jump in. Drag and drop context. Oh god, that's from React Beautiful D&D. But there are other files in here. Kanban view. There's all these components. Kanban markdown renderer. Like there's all this stuff happening. Where is this happening? So Jacob is saying copying all that state into React. It seems like it, but it's weird because I would like an easy, like how again with Vue you import a component, you drop it. It seems like there's just, I don't know where it's happening. Like this is the drag and, okay, so in React there are functional components, right? So this is what generates line 11. Line 11 takes in these props, but then now what? Now there's this portals, and if it's portals, then it returns this drag and drop and drops all the portals. And so maybe this is what I need to understand now. Okay, here's the view. And what is view? View is an element, as in VIEW. And okay, it's from here where I've never quite understood the memo. View, it takes a view of Kanban view, content element, return create portal view dot get port. What is create portal? React DOM. I'm just gonna look it up. React DOM create portal. Oh. I don't know if I like that. Okay, fine. Let's split all that into step 1, load markdown, 2, mount app. Yeah, that's what I want to do, Thesis. This is why I'm putting myself through this. I'd like to understand how these things work. Okay, there's some way it's getting the current content, right? There's gotta be like in a lane form. Oh, the types are in here too. Draggable item should mark items complete. Provided. Okay, how about let's try to let's just dive deep. Like clearly when a card switches from one to another, it's triggering a update on this page. So there's got to be, I'm assuming there's a React event inside of this draggable D&D that allows me to, if I drag it over, if draggable item is moved over to a certain column, then it'll do something. And export class extends React clear pure component draggable lane props. Render bound modifiers mark items complete. Lane data should mark lane.data. Okay, that makes sense because certain lanes have different properties. Setting styles lane width. Class list div. I'm good with this. Just tell me how what is the action? Lane items, lane index should mark items as complete. How are you doing this? Handle props, lane index, lane form. Board modifier should mark as complete. Set should mark as complete. Oh man. Clear set lane title. Create lane. Like I'm looking for an event that says change lane. Like that's okay. Hold up. What is this? Text area. Set lane title. Oh, holy, we found something. Set lane title. So is that like this? Edit list. And like 3. Mark list item. Oh, that's a cool thing. Oh, you know what? That could be a simple one. What if it says mark items in this list as complete? That's got to be a component. Mark items in this list complete. Lane format. Oh, so I'm starting to be in the right place. Okay. So great. That's that. On click. All right. So there's a couple things that should happen here. So again, let's walk through the logic of this. If I click this. Okay, not what I expected, but it's a start. Toggling this on and on appends markdown into the UI. Sorry, the markdown directly. So let's follow the trail. So should mark it complete is the function that is triggered when it's clicked on. Okay, should mark as complete. Yes. Then what? Where else is it used? Create lane. I don't care about that. I don't care about that. Oh no. Come on. Oh, set should mark as complete. Yeah, but once we've set it, you're doing something. Should mark as complete. What are you doing with should mark as complete? Right? The constant is there. It's set, right? Fine, use state. That's like the hooks, if I'm not mistaken. Then if we come in here, it goes to clear. Clear makes sense because you're resetting everything. Great. Create lane. Fine. On click, set it. No problem. And then there's a checkbox container. But like, where's the hook to say I now add the complete snippet? All right, let's try this. Oh dear. You got to be joking me. Complete? I'm just gonna say it. I thought this was supposed to be just JavaScript. Where is it? I clearly look. Okay. Why is title Vue 3 but I see React? Geek Rumper. The reason Geek Rumper is because the plugin we're building is using Vue 3. So you'll see here that when we're inside of the original plugin here, everything here is Vue 3 and we can do all the things. But currently we're trying to reverse engineer how exactly we do, like how we work with the Obsidian API in order to do the things. I guess maybe I just need to take a break because clearly that was frustrating. All right, so let's take a look at some things, for example. All right, so this dot add ribbon, right? What is this referring to? This is referring to the plugin add command open sample modal, great. Register DOM event, click mouse event. Yeah, great. So when we mount it, we do the things, but we want to learn about the plugins. All right. So inside of Obsidian, let's go ahead and open up our little, let's find the root. All right, so a couple of things here. We should have, let me see, app.view, when it's mounted, I want to go ahead and log the app because I want to see, actually, let's start seeing what at least is, whoa, that was not right. Let's see what's possible with, I guess, given, if I can't reverse engineer it, then fine, but that just means we'll need to figure it out. So a couple of things we can, cool, so I can see some of that stuff, app ID, commands, app save file, forward back help. Okay, so cool, let's see some of the stuff. Are these just functions? Oh, these are the commands that exist inside of, cool, so neat. We have editor commands, custom CSS. Hey, what's up, Ben? Hotkey manager. Internal plugins map. How can I see the scope? Like, I guess if we do workspace, active leaf, component. Oh, hey, look at this component. Interesting. What if we could mount it directly to the active leaf? Okay, so what I'm gonna do, well, yeah, because that's the container we want to mount it to, I would argue. Because if I switch this and close it, okay, so active leaf, active time, key map, metadata cache, vault, view registry, container element. I wonder if I could tell Vue to mount something specifically to a specific element. I don't see why not. That said, type leaf, working false. So if we're in here, click active leaf. Drag manager, file manager, app progress, internal plugin. This is what's so tricky about the plugin API and why, all the more reasons why I am a fan of good plugin architecture. Yep, this is the element itself. This is the app, that account, app ID, plugins manifest. Man. All right, couple things. So one, I'd like to be able to just mount it to the, let's see, how do we want to try to, like, all right, let's like write out what we're trying to do here. We want to be able to show a component on an active leaf. Because right now the problem is root app itself is hidden because it's not mounted to the leaf itself. So what I want to be able to do then is say that to this specific, like whatever leaf is active. So how about this? What if I know what to do. Okay, so if computed props is this thing, app, what we can do, at least what I'm thinking of, is we can say that there's a computed property, because the thing I care about at the moment, oh my god, I can't type. So Jacob coming with hold on, let me finish this thought real quick. So if I want the active leaf to be something I can watch at any time, I'll return this .app.workspace.active leaf. And if this works the way I expect, I should now be able to show the active leaf on my Vue app. So now it's been reloaded. Let's go ahead and check this real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and go to elements, look for the root this time. Root one more, root Vue. What did I call it? Root app. That's what I called it. Okay, root app is here. It's been loaded a number of times. I'm gonna widen this a little bit and make it a little bit bigger. Okay, root app is in here, which is great. And I'm just gonna delete all of these because this is just random stuff. Okay, here is our root. Oh, all right, fine. I'm gonna save again. There you go, our app is mounted. Now we should see inside of our console log the computer, although, oh shoot, I have to show the root app. Oh, why is it not showing anything? That's weird. As far as I'm aware, let me wrap this real quick. I don't think it's a multi-root thing. I'm just curious why it's not showing. And then I'm just gonna give this a class of Vue app. And inside of the Vue app, it is background color yellow, color black. And then that should kick it off again. But it's mounting with nothing. Okay, okay, so thesis saying what is leaf in the first place? Inside of Obsidian, every single page is considered a leaf. So what we also probably known as panes, these are considered leaves. And then Jacob here, it looks like the common board is modifying the data that comes in from the Obsidian app. It mutates the external data and updates the internal state at the same time. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping to do something similar, but in a way that's easier to grok. Like I found it was frustrating earlier that I couldn't get it to do the things I wanted to. Is it because I have a comment in there? Nope, that's not it. Vue app. All right, let me delete this again. It's been reloaded. Oh, here we go. This has a Vue app. This has a root app. Okay, that's good. Why did it not like this? It did not like active leaf. That seems to be the problem. Can I read of undefined? Oh, okay, fair enough. So we're saying by the time it renders, so if this.app.workspace, actually let's just return this.app.workspace. Okay, now that it's reloaded, we should see here, we still have our root app. And then is it still yelling at us? This is still being mounted, that's good. So I'm just gonna close the Kanban plugin for a second. Active leaf here should be returning. Oh, else return no workspace. Yep, that's what I want. Oh, return, jeez. There we go. Okay, so here, inside of our Vue app, root app, not even showing anything, which is weird. Oh, silly me, workspace. So if that shows up, that should be in here. Yep, workspace is here. And now we can render active leaf here. So we see now, good, no workspace is found. Okay, at least that's a start. That is a start. The question is though, why this.app? I think I must have screwed up the definition because it's app.app. Oh no, that's not what I want. Oh wait, no. App. I thought it is app. It is app.workspace. That is the entry point into that. So thesis is saying to load state from the data and to write it back into the. Oh. Okay, interesting. So to explain what people are talking about here, it looks like this data bridge is what's doing everything, which means we got to figure out view.app workspace. Yeah, app.workspace.trigger. Okay, that's key. Thank you. Data has to return all properties from the script. Geek Rumper, what are you? Data has to return all the properties from the script. So it's weird, right? Because, oh, wait. Oh, is app global? I totally botched this because this wouldn't actually work. I'm actually trying to resolve this.app. Wait a second. Is that just a global property? Do I not even need to ingest it as a root thing. Data has to return. This is fascinating to me. Because if it's just something that's just available to us, then this means to me that I can just call app.workspace. And then if it's the case, return that. This is fascinating if that's the case. I mounted it and nothing. Okay, so something did glitch out. Yeah, converting circular structure to JSON, starting with object constructor T. Okay, so that's just, it just breaks it, which is interesting. All right, so what if instead we let Vue manage the reactivity for a second and say Obsidian app, which I'll just make an empty object. And we'll say that when it's mounted to the page, this dot Obsidian app equals app. Oh, why doesn't it? Oh, wow. I keep hitting the wrong keys on this keyboard. It's driving me nuts. Okay, so if that's the case, then we can log this dot Obsidian app. So if I save this, it automatically reloads. Great. It shows app as a function, and we console it. We do get the proxy target event. Okay, this works a bit better because now that that's that, we can then run a computed property on Workspace, which returns this dot Obsidian app dot workspace. And let's see if we look at the latest iteration of the app, we should, oh, what just happened? Open this. There we go. Workspace is blank. This is frustrating. Why? Mounted this dot Obsidian app dot app. Thing is we have the app context, so it's like it's cloned in like proxy hotkey manager. This dot Obsidian app. Oh, I am so silly. I was like, this is why syntax tiling is helpful. Okay, at least that's it. All right, let's see. Can I do this? Can you yell at me again? And it yells at me again. Once again, converting circular structure to JSON constructor object property. Why is this circular? Proxy reactive effect. There is something happening here that's very interesting. Yeah, this is what I thought was weird, Thesis, is app. So I removed the prop actually in its entirety because apparently app is just like a global variable that's just opened in the Obsidian ecosystem. So it's not even like I have to pass it as a root thing. It's just there. And so that's why I was trying to ingest it into the Obsidian app like reactive data piece, because it's okay, this is like a thing that we're going to keep track of. But it just doesn't like this, which is what kind of weirds to me. So if we save this, it's mounted and it's empty. Like, this is so weird. There must be something to do with what was modified within the app, clearly. Because here's the thing, right? If we log app.workspace, I'm pretty sure this is going to work. So it's been reloaded. You can see it does exist. There's a whole thing here. But app.workspace itself is constructed differently. If I just do type of, it should be an object, I would think. Yeah, it's just an object. I guess I could say workspace. Once again, we could say this dot workspace equals app dot workspace. And then it looks like it's not even, I think maybe that's part of it. Maybe I'm trying to render it, and maybe this is part of the problem. I should probably stop trying to render it, because once I save here, it doesn't do anything, because all this stuff will be not empty apparently. App is a function. Yeah. Yep, window.app. So we go to console and do window.app. You can see here, everything is there. So really the props was superfluous in that regard, which is weird. I'll go back again. I don't think they've updated their docs on plugin. Type definition, subject change anytime. All API documentation is located in Obsidian.t.ts, architecture, few major modules, app vault, workspace, metadata cache, right. Inheriting a plugin, you can do these things. That's great. Load plugin data, save plugin data. Yep, registering events. App on. Register event app on. Yep. Setting that TS. Ooh, yeah. Declare global interface node. Element add class set adder global. Bum. Yeah, this is a tricky puzzle because it looks like the way the workspace works means it's tricky to watch it, at least from what I can tell. Because, okay, so let's just say on mounted, I log this dot workspace, right? This should give me something. Although, did it break? It's not running anymore. Unexpected token. So, what is unexpected? Okay, that explains why it's not building anymore. Yep. Dynamic import variables. What does it not like? Close. Transforming reactivity, rollup plugin. Something in app.vue is not happy with it. I'm just gonna keep wiping stuff out. Obsidian. I don't understand. Oh my lord. Yeah. It's been Geek Crumper. My bad. Before, you're not using the composition API Vue 3, which then lets you return everything in setup. Yes, that is certainly an option. I am debating. I not even I'm debating. I 100% plan to do composition API Geek Crumper. The only thing is, I was just trying to see if things would work before using the composition API. That's the only reason why I'm doing it this way at the moment. But I think. Oh my! I can't believe that was this is. Okay, so this is one of the challenges with working with Obsidian right now, right? Is that typically we'd have hot module reloading, and not only that, we'd have the Vue developer tools to actually inspect things. And right now we get none of that. So that's why this is particularly painful. So now if I do workspace and workspace, fine. Okay, so I can't render it. All right, I think this is what I'm learning. I seemingly can't render it. But what I should be able to do then is theoretically say that I have a computed property called active leaf, because that's what I want to know. And so I should be able to return workspace itself. So I'll just return workspace for this dot workspace for now. Oh man, this is where I sometimes really miss. This is where DevTools would be so nice, because I don't believe. Yeah, I wonder if there's a way for me to attach the Vue DevTools. Log this dot workspace, log this dot active leaf. And then put the comma here. Now we have syntaxing. Now it's good. Now it's been redone. Ribbon, target, active leaf, great. Workspace is good. Workspace.active leaf. Okay, great. So if I do workspace.active leaf, now we should see, finally. Okay, this is great. So we're starting to get somewhere here where we're actually getting some computed properties. This is good. I can basically start to design things a bit easier. So we have what? We have leaf, we have inside of the active leaf, we have the app, we have the pin, we have the element. Okay, this is good because right now the active leaf that we have, let's see, how does it work? A component, parent split, tab, view. Okay, maybe this is the view actions, the container element, current mode source. Ah, okay, here are modes. Clipboard manager, editor, sure, scrolling, search, view. Oh, data, here we go. So I think this is what people were referring to earlier. This is it. This is the data right here. So what this means to me is that we can actually then say, I think I dove down deep in that one, but I think we can go active to view current, not current mode. Nope, just data. View.data, unless there's a data up here. Okay, hang on. So we can go active leaf content will then return this dot active leaf dot view dot data. And then this we can then say active leaf content. Oh, please work. Please work. Show yourself, please. Root app. Dang, why? Oh, wait, am I opening the wrong one? Yep, something broke. Once again, cannot view of undefined proxy element leaf content, active leaf content at computed. So it didn't like that because this dot view dot data, that should be accurate. Okay, hold on, let's keep work backwards. Then we'll log this as active leaf view with this dot active leaf content. This is gonna be slightly inaccurate. Active leaf view is a proxy that contains dot data. Okay. And then once we've established active leaf view, okay, hang on, I'm just gonna check something else real quick. I think it's a matter of, I've noticed this recently, like it will, I wonder if this will work. Active leaf data, this dot active leaf view. Content. This is the view. So if we do that, yes, active leaf data is correct. It has the thing, which then means if we're trying to render it to the page, this should show up because there's now a check. So if I come down here, oh, come on. It doesn't want to render the thing? Notice container. Yeah, great. Oh, why? Why does it not? It cannot read view of undefined proxy. Simple. All right, fine. Okay, what if? Okay, I'll just do a check. If this exists, return this dot active leaf view dot data. Else, turn yeah, turn no data found. Okay, so clear, save, retrigger, and I'm still getting this view of undefined. Okay, similarly, then it just needs, again, I'm just gonna do optional checks on this at this point. No view found, and then how far is this willing to go? Once again, we have the data, right? So the proxy leaf, active leaf content. It still doesn't like this. But if it exists, how can it not return? Do we need to bring our own markdown parser? Yeah, Jacob, I think you may be right. Hey, what's up, Luke? Obsidian API, bring your own plasma cutter. Oh, man. Something about the way they model data is tripping me up. I am desperately trying to just grab the data and do fun stuff with it. Is it because it doesn't have... Cannot read data of undefined. It really doesn't like this. How can I get access to this then? Is it because you can always assume that you'll get... Maybe this is why in Obsidian Kanban they were constantly passing the app down to everything, because then you'd always get a new app on every... Because the app would always be reflect accordingly. But again, so if I... Alright, so... Clearly, it just doesn't like this stuff. So what if I delete this root? Still doesn't like it. Because it doesn't like it at the leaf view. And this is what's interesting, is that I am running checks. I am running checks to see if it exists, so it shouldn't even be yelling at me otherwise. Like, clearly, look, active leaf view data undefined, great. This proxy is good, and it has, inside of the target, we have the view. It's like sitting right here. The view here and the data. So why is it making it so hard for me to access the data itself? So if isn't this, I think this is the syntax dot view. Will that work? Is it gonna like it? Array target data dot view. Ah, interesting. Dot data. Oh, I did it. Okay. Okay. I did it. I did it. What a weird... I wonder if it has to do with the way proxies handle reactivity. Makes sense though. You want to make a check that these things exist before you do things, right? This is like jump, 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 nest, nest, nest. So we go back to my previous question. Okay, what was your previous question, thesis? Why pass... What's the point? Is it possible we know that app somehow a stale object when we render a preview? Oh, yes. That is very possible. I do think it's interesting that it's a global object, yet we... And that's maybe part of it. And that's what I don't understand too, because I guess theoretically, once we declare... I think I deleted it. I was actually setting Workspace up. Once we set it immediately, this is a problem. It will go stale, which you're totally right. So to make sure this works correctly then, now that I have this, we're going to go back to the props way we were doing it, where we take an app, type object, and it's required. So this is coming in for those joining. We have an app here that's receiving the Obsidian app, like basically being passed down this entire time. There's an unexpected token. Yeah, that makes sense. And then this time what I want to do is we're going to ignore this data and we're going to say Workspace. You know, actually, you know what? No, we're just going to go for it. It should be this dot app and then Workspace, if it exists, go down and down this. Save. What's the worst that'll happen? I'll just get a gigantic error. Like I haven't been getting that this entire time. All right. So now if I log this dot active leaf and save undefined, I have to figure out how to listen to the click events. So this can, okay, but save. Okay, didn't like something about this, but let's figure out why. Let's go back to this dot app dot workspace like this. Oh, that won't work. That was built. That's good. So interesting. This dot app dot workspace doesn't return anything. This dot app. That's good. Oh gosh. No. Shoot. It's a function. So does that mean... No, I thought there's some kind of promise. Data comes in later after mount effort. Yep, I am confused as well. Hang on. I think if app, let's go back to Obsidian Kanban real quick. if we know in main.ts that it gets, so it mounts, yup, and then where does it go? Okay. It gets the app, it gets the views, but the question is when it creates it, does it run app? So we go into create app, app gets passed in the drag and drop app, where is app used? No, look, interesting, app.workspace.trigger. Interesting, okay, so here are some events that clearly we need to learn about. But app dot, that's the only one. It's just using it. So it's not calling it at all. It's just using it directly. Meaning we should be able to do the same thing. Why won't it let me access this? Is it because the function hasn't been called? Yarn dev. Building everything, everything's been put. Yeah, it says it is undefined, even though it's, oh, hang on. It might not be an object then. I'm just gonna let it receive a prop type of app. Still undefined, doesn't like it. Oh, wait, sorry, I messed up. I'm just gonna call it app. I'm not even gonna type it right now because I don't even know what the type is. What is this? Yep, it's a function. It's a function. Maybe what was tripping us up with events and things. So are we saying I should run it? Oof. Oh. Yikes. Whoops. Return test. Load app. Yep, that was so wrong. Is app a getter? It's weird. Like it is totally a thing, and maybe this is why I was having trouble to begin with. Now that I'm thinking about it, is because I was trying to take app and just do stuff with it, but I don't think that's how this works. Clearly, there must be something else that is being pocketed. Oh, we've clearly made some progress here. I clearly need to do some homework on how this works, but clearly, okay, so we have the Vue reactivity is there, but I think what we don't understand, which is like the hardest part I think of working with any of these things, is how the heck do we how do we work with the data? Because clearly it's again, I type files are great. I don't. How does this explain everything we do? If I do active leaf, split active leaf, sets active leaf, push history, param. Yep. Oh God. Okay. Yikes. So clearly, there's like a whole API to learn, document. Like there's a lot of rich content here as far as being able to do things. And so I like this a lot. I clearly, the lack of documentation is making it hard to make it grok. And don't get me wrong, if it did exist already, like this was part of my holdup to begin with, I would have already started diving into things. But because we have all this stuff and I can't seem to understand when and where it's doing things, that's what's making it hard. Designing frameworks and something is a tricky thing. It's just a matter of, I think once I slowly start to write a guide on how to do these things, it'll become easier for everyone else. Because okay, view.app.workspace. Okay, hang on. In the couple minutes I have left, view.app.workspace. This is interesting. And the reason I say this is because this means that the views almost contain the app. Let's see, view.app. They have a parser, they have helpers, Workspace.trigger. Where is Vue coming from? Hover parent Vue. Yup. Kanban props. Vue Kanban. Kanban Vue. Ah! Man. Why? Extends text file Vue, implements hover parent. Oh yeah, set board, get board. Okay. We're slowly learning, albeit we are trying to figure out. Now it is a total Schrodinger. Our results are random and we can't get stable output. Yes, we are in a bit of a weird state, thesis, with this. That is to say the least. Yeah. I'm trying to understand how, because again, like the basic questions we're trying to look for, I think, to wrap up today, and this goes for like all API design going forward. When we're doing documentation, there really is this like questions we want to know. So if we were to write an essentials guide to plugins, one of the things we'd want to be able to do, for example, is so one like how to get active leaf. Right? How to like basically mount elements to active leaf. Because that to me is not incredibly obvious right now. It seems like the Kanban view is doing some sort of portal thing that's like sending the app through to the element. But again, that means you must have a target if you're even doing the portal route, which is nothing wrong with that, but that just, you'd almost want it to be like in a perfect world, like when they open that pane, that's when you mount the app, that's when you do the things. You get your data. But anyways, how to listen to events. But anyhow. So Jacob was saying this plugin doesn't import app at all. Oh, you're saying in the Kanban plugin, it doesn't import it at all? Did I miss something? I was under the impression under the mount method, the create app here is what brings in this dot. Oh, shoot. Wait a second. Did I think I missed something really. I can't believe I missed this. I can believe I missed it. But what if it is this dot app instead? That worked. Wait, I got a test log. Create app, this app, return test. Wait a second. Props app. Return this dot app. Oh, did I just figure it out? Oh, snap. Ah! Vue.data. Render active leaf. Oh my lord, did this work? View app. Oh, I got it. Oh, at the last second. That's it. It's not showing up anywhere because it's not, but here, I'll just, to make sure we see this. Oh my lord. Position, absolute, top, 0. That's it. It's right there. With 500 pixels. Oh, whoops. 500 pixels. Left, 50 pixels. That's it. We have it. Now, granted, how to mount it to the right element, yada yada. But even without, if we wanted to brute force this, we could bring in our own parser. We can split things into arrays. Like we could literally manage every. Oh man, that was the hint. How did I miss it? This is it. So, all of this to say, this is also why the class syntax sometimes really weirds me out, because this context, this is why I guess you're in this. JavaScript this, biting me in the bum since the beginning. Okay, great. This is wonderful. Oh gosh, brute forcing this. Okay, great. Let's commit what we have. Let's keep it actually simple for people. So again, for anyone who wants to use this, I'm gonna remove this div because I don't. Again, Vue 3 has multi-root nodes, so this is fine now. Again, we need to figure out how to mount things, but this is the active leaf data. This no longer needs to exist, and this is a working app now. Props, I probably want to change this. It is now actually a proper object, so I'm just gonna do this real quick because we were dealing with things. Type object required true. Okay, boom, magic. We actually, oh man, I am so glad we got to that point. Now I have so much more hope for this. Oh, yarn build. Oh my god, can't type. Okay, excelente, and we're good. Add working app integration. That's it. Boom! That's been an exciting time. I am actually pretty excited now. Of course, really the next question here, now that we have the stuff, which is great, the question is how to switch that element to the leaf. I think that is going to be the trickier part, because somehow in Kanban, they're able to one, detect the leaf and then mount it accordingly. So yeah, this is going to be fun. We'll see how it goes. Because once we can mount the element to the active leaf, this is probably arguably the next biggest blocker. And so if I figure it out on my own, don't worry, I will live stream and show how that works. Because I think once you can get data and mount it to the correct pane and track it, because obviously it's not always the active one, actually you might want to do a specific leaf. Your world is almost instantly opened up. So we're very close. But anyhow, thesis, is my schedule now stable? I think so. I think going forward, what I'm trying to do is Tuesdays to do 12 o'clock Eastern to be a little bit earlier for people on Eastern time. More importantly, my Jason, my now boss actually, is streaming, so we're going to raid him, I believe. And then what we're going to do as well is on Thursdays, I believe I have it at 2. But thesis this time, I'm telling you, I am set up for it for success this time. We will have a real schedule page on my website. So at the bare minimum, if things change, then at least people can subscribe and see the difference. Yeah, boss Jason. All right, with that, let's go ahead and switch over into intermission. Boom. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and let's get ready to raid. Let's see. We're here. And thanks everyone for hanging out and watching as I fumbled with the Obsidian API, but this is exciting because once we document this to explain this to people, since again, I don't know how many people are as familiar with class syntax as I definitely am not, but it's been fun. WingMac Dev, thanks for hanging out. Himena, everyone, appreciate the support. And I'll see you all over in Jason's channel. Bye, everybody.
Want to keep on going is to make sure that